I think influencers are going to have the same fate as 90s supermodels. This is a prediction, it could be wrong or right, but based on the documentary I just watched on Apple, it was almost eerie how similar the rise and fall of the supermodel was to what influencers are experiencing right now. And it was kind of interesting to see how society really built these women up and became obsessed with them. They were a phenomenon, like they were on every runway, they were on magazines, TV, you name it, and everyone was loving it until they started making real money. Linda Evangelista, she said to this day she regrets saying that she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 because of the way they ate her up over it. And what was so interesting was that she was justifying it back then by saying it is all advertising. And if you were to look at the balance sheets for some of these advertising budgets, her cut as a model doesn't even compare to the overall budget for the campaign or the profits that the brands at the time were seeing. But people didn't care about any of that, of course. They just cared about the fact that these girls were entitled, which is very familiar, or that they thought too highly of themselves, and they were making way too much money for what they were doing. All of which is very familiar to the way people see influencers now. And what really marked the end of the supermodel era was the ushering in of grunge and anti-capitalism and anti-supermodel culture. So people didn't want to wear labels. They didn't want to wear fancy outfits. They wanted to dress down. They wanted to look more like Kurt Cobain and Nirvana and those types of guys, as a direct rejection of the glamour of the supermodel era. And I feel like with this recession that's coming, or basically is already here, we're going to see the same type of thing. Actually, people are already kind of doing it with the whole quiet luxury thing and resisting overspending, de-influencing. So it's very interesting. And I will say what's most interesting is that these women were able, well, not all of them, but mainly Naomi and Cindy Crawford were able to continue to have long-lasting careers in the public eye because they built really strong personal brands. And I think that that's what's going to happen with influencers. Like, I think influencers as a whole, people are going to like reject it in the coming years. But if you were able to build a very strong personal brand, you'll still be able to have a career.